So this morning, the Council for Inclusive Capitalism announcing a new partnership between the Pope, the Vatican, and business leaders across the globe. It follows a meeting just over a year ago in which the Pope Francis called for the urgent need for an economic system that is fair, trustworthy, and capable of addressing the most profound challenges facing humanity. Executives are now committing to the Council's pledge to create a more sustainable and equitable system. They include Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan, Johnson & Johnson CEO Alex Gorsky, CalPERS CEO Marcy Frost, and Merck CEO Ken Frazier. And joining us right now is the founder of that council, Lynn Forester de Rothschild. Lynn, good morning to you. You are the brainchild of this idea, and I'm curious if you could even just tell us how you convinced the Vatican and the Pope to embrace capitalism. I went back and I've looked at some of the encyclicals. As you know, 5 years ago, the Pope said that capitalism was the dung of the devil. What did you do to get the Vatican on board?
Well, the Vatican has asked for concrete actions to benefit all people. And in his encyclical in 2020, the Fratelli Tutti, he talked about reconciling the world of finance and the world of work. And that is what we are doing. Pope Francis doesn't point an accusatory finger at wealth creation and capitalism, but what he wants is for the creation of wealth to aid and not destroy the planet and the people on it. So we are responding to his call to reform capitalism, to make it inclusive, to make it sustainable, to make it trusted as well as dynamic.
So, there are people who will invariably be skeptical of, and there are skeptics of the ESG movement. I would argue this is another step in the direction of the ESG movement. But what does this partnership look like, and what do these pledges by companies look like?
So that's a great question, Andrew. And we understand the skepticism. And we are not another group of people who meet once and are done. We have 230 specific commitments that our guardians have made to inclusive capitalism that are on our website today at inclusivecapitalism.com. But more importantly than what our 23 guardians are committing to is the fact that we are asking all businesses, large and small, to go to the website, agree to our principles, and then make their own commitments. We're not prescriptive in terms of what is inclusive capitalism, but what we do believe is that it's important, if we're going to have true system change, for everyone to do what they can, to think about what the Holy Father said in the Laudato Si in 2015 when he asked us to listen to the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. That's not a religious imperative. That's a moral imperative.
So here's a philosophical question for you.
Okay.
The philosophical question is, in the world of business and in the world of capitalism, there are going to be times, for example, where your company might be struggling and you might have to debate whether you are going to lay off workers or not pay out a dividend, for example. There are going to be times where there's going to be questions about whether you should have a philanthropic arm or you shouldn't. Is this supposed to be philanthropy? How should business leaders think about this?
No, this is not philanthropy at all. What it is it's business putting profit in service of people and planet, but not taking away profit. There is no indication from the Holy Father that there should not be wealth creation. And in fact, in the document called Journeying Toward Our Common Home, it specifically talks about wealth creation that helps the planet, helps the world rather than hurts it. So of course there are balances, and that's why we have boards, and that's why we have managements, and that's why we want accountability. In the council, we have asset owners and asset managers who are making commitments to hold companies to account, not for a specific end goal of what they should do in the specific situation of their company, particularly if it's in any kind of distress, but how is the company responding to all of its stakeholders?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.